A compound full of weapons, human remains found during the search for a 3-year-old. 11 other kids possibly trained to kill.
How would you feel if the people thought to be responsible were allowed back into your community? Tonight, those 5 suspects arrested at that northern New Mexico compound have the chance to post bond. KOB4's live team coverage on today's huge developments. We start with Chris Ramirez, who's in Taos, with details now from the FBI. Chris.
Yeah, we did learn more details from the FBI. A special agent from the FBI testified in court today. He interviewed 2 of the boys taken from that compound, a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it was through those interviews that he learned more about the death of that child, that missing 3-year-old, Jany Wahhaj, and some possible plans of domestic terrorism. FBI Special Agent Travis Taylor was the last to take the stand. The 2 teens he interviewed described 3-year-old Jany's last moments.
During these rituals, per witness statements, the victim, Abdul, would begin to choke and have white foam or slime come out from his mouth and then pass out.
The teens told the FBI the adults believed Jany had demons inside of him and had to die.
The reasons why they left Georgia, that being that Jany had a message from God that they needed to leave and head to New Mexico, and that Abdul Wahhaj would, once the demons were expelled from his body through religious rituals, that he would become Jesus, and then once he became Jesus, he would instruct the others of the property or the family on what corrupt institutions to get rid of.
At the time of Jany's death, the FBI agent testified that the 15-year-old boy said he and Siraj Wahhaj were there.
From the Quran, and Siraj would hold his hand on Abdul's forehead and read the rituals. And
after the child's death, the boy had to clean the child's dead body each day. That FBI agent also testified that it was the kids who were the ones who talked about the domestic terrorism, specifically saying that they had to attack teachers, the military, law enforcement, and financial institutions. We're live in Taos. Chris Ramirez, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Chris, thank you very much. And tonight, Governor Susana Martinez has some harsh words for our court system and the decision to grant bond to the suspects. A statement from her office reads, quote, "I strongly disagree with this decision. Unfortunately, it highlights for the entire nation how extreme the New Mexico Supreme Court has been in dictating pretrial release for all kinds of dangerous criminals."
All right, Laughlin's been tracking this story from the very beginning. He was in the courtroom, saw the action firsthand. You know, just live now from Taos, breaking down today's big decision by this judge. Ryan.
Yeah, Steve, a judge ruled today that they were going to throw out the no bond motion filing because the state failed to meet the burden that these 5 were a danger to society. And this was after evidence was presented that kids were being trained to use firearms and that there were texts there in the compound detailing the psychology of humans killing humans.
Staff at the Atlanta Firearms Training Center stated they had never seen someone take these many classes so quickly in rapid succession.
Prosecutors made their case that these 5 are dangerous today. They presented a lot of evidence surrounding Siraj Wahhaj, the man accused of abducting his 3-year-old son. They said Siraj returned from Saudi Arabia, then decided to move his family to New Mexico. Then there was the letter that was written to Siraj's brother.
The letter in part reads, "Allah says he will protect you always, so follow until he makes you die as a martyr, as you want it. And the only way is by joining the righteous, parentheses, quote, parentheses, us, unquote." The letter instructs Muhammad to hurry, not to drag his feet, to, quote, "leave whatever we told you to leave, take all your money out of the bank, and bring your guns."
But vague indications of potential future violence wasn't enough. The judge was expecting to hear more on the conditions of the 11 kids.
In this particular case, again, based on what was presented to the judge, I think she had no choice but to rule in the way that she did. I think that the state did not provide the necessary, didn't satisfy their burden of showing that the clients were a danger.
Now all 5 will be able to post bond. Only Siraj will have to stay in custody because of a fugitive warrant from charges stemming from Georgia. Now, the bond that they have is called a signature bond. That means no money will have to be paid up front. Just sign and they can be released. There are other conditions. They'll be wearing an ankle monitoring device. They will need to check in with their attorneys once a week. They have to stay in this jurisdiction in Taos County. They can't leave the country. And any interactions they have with their children will have to be monitored by the state. From Taos, I'm Ryan Laughlin, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Ryan, thank you. Our crews will keep watching this developing situation in Taos as we wait to see if those suspects post bond. Now stay with KOB4, KOB.com, and our mobile app for every big development.